Next on my list is fish and chips. Fish and chips is the most popular takeaway in New Zealand. This was introduced by the British during World War I. The main ingredient is battered fish and of course the fries, which is a bit thicker than your usual French fries. Language and accent is number 8 on my list. New Zealand have 3 different official languages: English, Te Reo Maori, and the New Zealand Sign Language. The way New Zealanders speak English is different from UK or USA. For example, they can pronounce letter E as I. Words like yes may sound as yes, and 7 may sound as 7. They also have some slang words. For example, swimsuit is normally called togs, cooler for chili bin, and faucet is called tap. There are also some phrases that I learned over the years. For instance, if you get invited in a gathering, you may be asked to bring a plate. Please don't take that literally. You have to bring a plate and put food on it to be shared by others. You cannot just turn up at a gathering or a party by just bringing an empty plate. During interviews, interviewer may say, "Take a seat." Again, don't take that literally. That means, please have a seat, but you do not need to take away the chair. Also phrases such as sweet as, which means good, fine, and occasionally you can hear the phrase she'll be alright, which means not to worry, everything's fine. And there are also words they use, especially at the offices, when they say morning tea, afternoon tea. Morning tea is your 10 a.m. break, morning break, and afternoon tea can be approximately 3 p.m. afternoon break. Weather is number 9 on my list. New Zealand has 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and autumn. We live in a place where you can have 4 seasons in one day. So I dress appropriately. I bring a cardigan, a jacket, or something to keep me warm if the weather suddenly changes. I also learned to check the weather forecast the night before, so I know the clothes to wear the following day. Religion is number 10 on my list. There is no established religion here in New Zealand. A lot of people don't have religion. Some people don't go to church. My first Easter here in New Zealand was working at McDonald's. That was one of the busiest days of the year. People took advantage of the long holiday, which is a 4-day holiday, Friday off, Monday off. People went out of town, they go to the nearest beach and party. And that's how they celebrate Easter here. So don't be surprised. Number 11 on the list, pedestrians have the right of way over vehicles. When I first arrived in New Zealand, I tend to stop and wait for the cars before I go and cross the street, even though I'm standing in front of a pedestrian lane. Then my husband told me that cars will need to stop and remain stationary and wait until the pedestrians have finished crossing. It is an offense not to give way to pedestrians. You get about 35 demerit points. The 12th thing that I learned about living in New Zealand is how to drive a car. This to me is very important in case of medical emergency, and it's also good for my independence. So how did I get a learner's license? I studied the road code, took my exam to get a learner's license. I think at that time of the exam there's an oral, 5 oral questions and written exams. And I think to pass you are allowed to have 2 mistakes. So then I passed, and then I enrolled at a driving school. when you have a learner's license, you're not allowed to take passengers. So the driving school at that time cost me $20 per lesson. The driving instructor will pick me up and drop me off to where we used to live. So after quite a few lessons, I did more than 20. I decided to sit my practical exam. On the day of the practical exam, I was doing well until the officer said, "Stop in a corner and do a reverse." And I panicked because I didn't have much practice doing reverse. And of course, I failed. But as I mentioned before, you don't give up. So I booked for another exam on the same day. And while waiting, I practiced and practiced and practiced. About 15 years ago, supermarkets are closed on the weekend. That's where I used to do my practice every weekend. I used the supermarket car park to do my reverse, my parking, my three-point turn. In other words, I passed and then I got my full driver's license. Now the next clip that you are going to be watching is a reenactment of one of my Filipina friends' experience when she took the driving exam. She was asked one question. She knew the answer, but she forgot that particular word, how to say it in English. So it's just a short clip, and I hope you enjoy it.
So Stella, tell me what happens if you're driving a car and you want to change lanes or turn around a corner.
Ano ba yun sa English? Yung ganun? Yes. You will use the blink blink. You know, blink blink.
What the hell?
Indicate.
This is the end of this video. Please give us a thumbs up if you find this video helpful and or comment below. If you are new to this channel and would like to see more of our videos, please don't forget to click the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Salamat po.